Cityscape Intelligence, the source of year-round business intelligence for the MENA region's real estate community.
Just scanning through a few of the headlines at the moment over the course of the last week, and there is a recurring theme. Most expensive villa ever sold in Dubai Hills Estate. Dubai's property sales transactions hit 8-year high, quadrupling off-plan sales, boost Dubai's property deals, say EFG Hermes. Capital value of Dubai property appreciates on pandemic handling and economic recovery. Look, one common theme there, things are good, or certainly at the high end. Dubai's residential real estate market continues to perform strongly at the high end. How long will it last? A question we put to the chief economist of Peninsula Real Estate, Christopher Payne, who joins us live on the line, and happy to say live on Microsoft Teams as well. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Tom.
Really appreciate you being with us here this morning. Is this a trend? Let's start with the trend first and foremost. I mean, does this tell the full story?
Not entirely. I mean, it is absolutely true to say that volumes in the last quarter, in the second quarter of the year, were as good as they were at the end of 2013, which is really good news. But the price rises that we are seeing and the real frenzy in the market is in, I think, as you said, it's in single family homes, villas, townhouses, that kind of end of the market, which I think over the last 6 months, according to Dubai Land Department, prices on average are up 7%. That's great for homeowners. But that's not the full story, because if you look at apartment prices, according to the same institute at DLD, they're still down about 4% over the last 6 months. So actually, the overall index is about flat on the year. So it is not that the story we're telling here is good with volumes, but it doesn't pan the whole market. It's still very much at the high end, and that hasn't changed as yet.
I'm glad you said that, Chris, because we get quite a few grumbles every time we talk real estate here on the show. A lot of professionals out there in the market, very happy to talk about high-end demand out there at present, but a lot of those who are invested in the apartments or otherwise not seeing that. So is this specifically to do with high-end demand, luxury demand, or is there a trickle-down effect?
We're yet to see the trickle-down. I mean, that's really the point. And I think that what you're seeing at the high end is something that we've seen across the world, really. If you look at London or you look at New York, for much of the period since interest rates dropped precipitously because of COVID, people have really wanted to move into bigger homes. They've been happy to move to the suburbs outside New York or outside London because they want that extra space. And I think because Dubai is such a foreign-dominated market, certainly in the residential arena, I mean, only about a quarter of buyers come from the Emirates or Emiratis themselves. It's really an international market. I think Dubai's really been picking up from that trend. A lot of people around the world looking to have a home here, full home here, and not necessarily meaning that they're going to live here all the time. It's a bit of both, to be honest with you, but people coming here are coming here for more space. And I think that, so it's global interest rates, it's a global real estate rally, it's definitely COVID related. And because we know, yes, economies have recovered, absolutely for sure, things are growing again strongly, but we haven't really necessarily got back to 2019 levels yet, which is why the broader economy is still in that process of recovery. So we haven't seen the real estate market broaden out as yet to the apartment market.
So are foreign investors or a foreign investment, is that key to this trend at the moment?
I think it is. I mean, well, it's easy to conclude yes when it comes to the residential market, because over a long period of time, we've seen data that shows that, as I said, 20 to 25% of buyers in Dubai are Emiratis, which means, 75% of the market is non-Emiratis, that's foreign. And, that's split. Indians are roughly about the same as Emiratis, about a quarter of the market. And the rest of the market is roughly split between Pakistan, China, Russia, the UK, and then many other countries around the world, Europe, US.
In terms of what next, and obviously a lot of people will be looking into their crystal ball and wondering whether this is a trend that will continue. A lot of those invested will be hoping so. But are there still, and I think it's fair to say, there have been obstacles, there have been hurdles to overcome in the past in terms of investing in property here. Do they still remain as that concern?
Well, I think, again, in the residential market, I think there's lots being done. There's obviously visa rules that are really encouraging people. Say, if you buy real estate here over 1 million dirhams, then you get a 2-year visa. And I think these are really important factors. The visa reform for individuals really helps people have more certainty, of buying a property here. And I think the government has done a lot to help out in that domain. But that's obviously, that's one market. I think in another market, say the institutional level, where we're talking about foreign institutions buying whole buildings and letting them out, there are still obstacles there. Obviously, we have the free zones. That's what the free zones are partly for. So foreign businesses can own their business 100% and own the real estate 100%. And we've seen reform because now foreign businesses can own their business 100% onshore, but that hasn't gone over into real estate yet. So certainly at the residential market is definitely benefiting from reform. I think at the institutional level, I think there's a lot of focus now on what needs to change and what could help and encourage institutions, the big global, the Brookfields, the Blackstones of the world, to look more at Dubai real estate. But part of that remains an ownership issue. If you can't buy the building, then that obviously limits demand. And at an institutional level, obviously, less demand keeps a cap on prices.
And just in conclusion, Chris, I mean, in terms of the handling of the pandemic by the authorities here in the UAE, has that directly impacted on capital value appreciation of property, not just in Dubai, but across the UAE?
I think there have been many, responsible, I think around the world, governments have not really known how to respond to something that has not happened in any of our lifetimes. I think, there's been different responses in Dubai and Abu Dhabi that have reflected the different economic patterns and what supports the economy of the different emirates. Certainly in Dubai, there's a realization that, that without oil, a reliance on tourism and international business, the right response was made that fit Dubai. And I think it's done very well in that way in terms of opening up and allowing people to come here and work here, whether remotely, to travel here, tourism, the rest of it. So it's really, what's been done here in Dubai has very much reflected the needs of the economy. But as I said, if you look at the broader real estate market, I think that, if you look at what's been going on, that's mirrored to some extent around the world where you've seen low interest rates and a desire for bigger buildings, for bigger homes. But obviously, Dubai has understood the role that foreigners play in the real estate market and has acted accordingly.
Dr. Payne, good morning. It's Richard here.
Hi, Richard.
I can't let you go without asking you for some advice on losing weight after the summer holidays. Regular Business Breakfast listeners will know that not only are you an erudite commentator on the real estate market and someone with a PhD from the London School of Economics in economics, you are the author of The Economist's diet book. I have not one but 2 copies at home. 60 seconds left. Many of us coming back from holidays with a little bit more timber around our tummies than we would want to. Give us the 30-second Economist tip on how to lose those extra summer holiday kilos.
I came back from holiday having gained almost 3 kilos myself because I wanted to enjoy myself. And the first thing that I have done, as I always do all the time, is get on the scales every single day. Remind myself that I should only have 1 square meal a day and 2 light meals, and that's a rule. And as I say, I'm following the scale every day. I've seen it come down, and if I have a big meal, I skip one. Mini feast, mini fast. So there's the 3 biggest tips. Remember, 1 big meal a day, 1 square meal a day, 2 light meals a day, and weigh yourself every day. Thank you, Richard. I always love talking about it.
Dr. Christopher Payne, Chief Economist at Peninsula Real Estate. Much appreciate your time.